My friends, I want you to remember one thing. Every great success story is also a story of failure. The difference between winners and losers is not talent, not money, not intelligence. It is the ability to stand up one more time after falling. Failure is painful. It feels like the world is against you, like all doors are closing. People will laugh at you, doubt you, and even tell you to give up. But listen carefully. Failure is not your enemy. It is your greatest teacher. Look at the most successful people in history. Did they get there because they never failed? No. They failed more than anyone else. But they refused to let failure define them. Instead, they used it to grow stronger, smarter, and wiser. The world does not remember how many times you fail. The world remembers the one time you succeed. But to reach that moment, you must have the courage to keep going. The biggest mistake you can make is not failing. It is being too afraid to try. People will tell you that failure is bad. I tell you today, failure is good. It means you are trying, you are learning, and you are moving forward. The only way to never fail is to never do anything new. But those who never fail never grow, and those who never grow never succeed. So the next time you fail, don't ask why me. Ask, what is this teaching me? Because the lessons you learn in failure will be the foundation of your success. Keep failing, keep learning, keep moving forward. Your success is waiting for you. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Many people see failure as something negative, something to be ashamed of, or something that defines their limits. But the truth is, failure is a stepping stone, a teacher, and a necessary experience on the journey to success. If you look at the most successful people in history, you will realize that they did not reach greatness because they avoided failure, but because they embraced it, learned from it, and kept moving forward despite it. Think about a child learning to walk. No child gets up and starts running immediately. They take a step, fall, get up, and try again. If they stopped after the first fall, they would never learn to walk. The same principle applies to life, business, and every dream we chase. Failure is a natural part of the learning process. It is not a sign that you are incapable. It is proof that you are trying, pushing your limits, and challenging yourself to grow. The greatest innovations and breakthroughs in history came from people who failed repeatedly. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before he finally invented the light bulb. If he had given up after the first 100 failures, we might still be living in darkness. When asked about his failures, he didn't see them as mistakes. He saw them as ways to learn what did not work. That mindset is what separates successful people from the rest. They don't allow failure to define them. They allow it to refine them. Failure teaches lessons that success never can. When you fail, you learn resilience, patience, and problem solving. You develop the ability to adapt and improve. You understand what works and what doesn't. More importantly, failure humbles you. It makes you appreciate success when it finally comes. If everything came easily, you would never truly value it. The struggle, the setbacks, and the challenges make the victory meaningful. Many people fear failure more than they desire success. They are so afraid of making mistakes, being judged, or looking foolish that they never take action. But the biggest mistake anyone can make is not trying at all. You can recover from failure, but you cannot recover from regret. Regret is far worse than failure because it means you never gave yourself the chance to succeed. Those who never fail are not the strongest or the smartest. They are simply the ones who never tried. The world only remembers the success stories, but behind every success there are countless failures. People admire those who achieve greatness, but they don't always see the struggles, the disappointments, and the sacrifices that led to that moment. The overnight success you see took years of perseverance, trial, and error. Every successful person has a story of failure, rejection, and setbacks. The difference is, they did not stop. If you want to succeed, you must change your perspective on failure. Instead of seeing it as an end, see it as a lesson. Instead of feeling discouraged, feel challenged. When you fail, don't ask, why me? Ask, what can I learn from this? Because every failure is teaching you something. Every failure is preparing you for your breakthrough. The more you fail, the closer you get to success, if you don't give up. The key is persistence. The key is learning. The key is getting back up, no matter how many times you fall. Failure is not the end of the road. It is a bend in the road. The people who succeed are not the ones who never fail, they are the ones who never quit. So embrace failure, learn from it, and keep going. Your success is waiting for you on the other side. Every failure teaches you something that success never will. When we succeed, we celebrate, we enjoy the rewards of our hard work, but we rarely stop to analyze why we succeed. We move forward, often without questioning the deeper lessons behind our achievements. However, when we fail, we are forced to stop, reflect, and reevaluate. Failure demands our attention. It makes us think, adjust, and grow in ways that success never can. Failure is one of the greatest teachers in life. It humbles us, challenges us, and reveals our weaknesses. When things go wrong, we are forced to look at ourselves and our strategies with honesty. We have no choice but to identify what didn't work and why. This process of self-reflection is invaluable because it allows us to improve, refine our approach, and develop the resilience needed to handle greater challenges in the future. Success can sometimes give a false sense of security. When everything goes well, it is easy to assume that we have all the answers, that we are on the right path, and that we do not need to change anything. But failure disrupts that illusion. It shakes us out of our comfort zone and forces us to innovate. Many of the world's greatest inventions, businesses, and breakthroughs came from people who first experienced failure. They didn't just accept defeat, they used it to propel themselves forward. One of the most important lessons failure teaches is resilience. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how talented, intelligent, or hardworking you are, setbacks will happen. The people who succeed are not those who avoid failure, but those who refuse to let it stop them. Every time you fail and choose to keep going, you strengthen your ability to handle challenges. You learn to endure hardship, develop patience, and build the mental toughness required for long-term success. Failure also teaches adaptability. When one plan doesn't work, you are forced to create a new one. You become more flexible in your thinking and more creative in your problem solving. Many of the greatest leaders and entrepreneurs in history had to pivot multiple times before finding the right path. If they had been rigid, unwilling to learn from their failures, they would have never reached success. Beyond resilience and adaptability, failure teaches humility. It reminds us that we do not know everything, that we are not invincible, and that there is always room for improvement. Humility is a powerful trait because it keeps us open to learning. People who believe they already know everything stop growing. But those who accept failure as a learning experience continue to evolve, improve, and achieve greater things. Another lesson failure teaches is the importance of perseverance. Many people give up too soon, thinking that failure is a sign that they are not meant to succeed. But in reality, failure is just a test. It is the universe asking you, how badly do you want this? If you are willing to keep going despite the setbacks, then you prove that you deserve success. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who don't is often just one thing: persistence. Failure also helps us develop gratitude. When you have struggled and experienced setbacks, you appreciate success more when it finally comes. People who achieve success too easily often take it for granted, but those who have failed and fought for their dreams understand the value of their achievements. They do not just enjoy success, they respect it. At the end of the day, failure is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. It is an opportunity to learn, grow, and become stronger. It prepares you for the challenges ahead and shapes you into a person capable of achieving lasting success. Every failure you experience is not a setback. It is a lesson that is guiding you to something greater. So when you fail, don't see it as the end. See it as the beginning of something better. Keep going, keep learning, and success will follow. The world does not remember how many times you fail, only the one time you succeed. People celebrate achievements, breakthroughs, and victories, but they rarely talk about the struggles, rejections, and setbacks that came before them. The truth is, behind every great success story, there are countless failures that the world chooses to forget. What matters is that one defining moment when everything falls into place, when years of effort finally pay off, and when perseverance triumphs over adversity. Failure is a natural part of the journey to success, but it does not define you. Your response to failure does. Many of the most successful individuals in history faced repeated failure before they finally achieved greatness. The world does not remember how many times Thomas Edison's experiments failed, but it remembers that he invented the light bulb. The world does not count how many times Walt Disney was rejected, but it remembers the empire he built. The number of setbacks does not matter. What matters is the persistence to push through them. When you fail, it is easy to feel discouraged, to believe that the world is watching and judging your mistakes. But the truth is, people do not care about how many times you fall. They care about the moment you rise. No one remembers the days you struggled in silence, the nights you spent questioning yourself, or the moments when you thought about giving up. They only see the final success, the moment when you prove that all the effort, pain, and resilience were worth it. This is why persistence is the key to success. Every time you fail, you are given a choice: to quit and be forgotten, or to keep going until the world takes notice. Many people give up too soon, believing that failure means they are not good enough. But in reality, failure is just a test to see how badly you want something. Those who refuse to quit are the ones who eventually succeed, and when they do, their failures become irrelevant. Success has a way of erasing the past. When an athlete wins a championship, no one asks about the losses they endured along the way. When a business becomes a global empire, no one remembers the failed ideas, the bankruptcies, or the sleepless nights. People admire the outcome, not the struggle. But those who succeed never forget what it took to get there. They understand that every failure was a lesson, every setback was a stepping stone, and every rejection was redirection towards something greater. Failure teaches resilience, patience, and determination. It strengthens your character and prepares you for the moment when success finally arrives. If you had never failed, success would not feel as rewarding. If you had never struggled, you would not appreciate victory. The road to success is never straight. It is filled with obstacles, detours, and hardships, but those who keep moving forward, no matter how many times they stumble, are the ones who ultimately reach their destination. So when you fail, do not let it define you, do not let it discourage you. Instead, let it fuel you. Let it remind you that the world does not keep track of your failures, it only remembers your triumphs. Keep pushing, keep learning, and keep improving. Because one day, when you finally succeed, no one will ask how many times you failed. They will only see the victory, and that is all that will matter. Those who never fail never truly try. Failure is not a sign of weakness, but a mark of effort. It is proof that someone has stepped out of their comfort zone, taken risks, and pursued something meaningful. The fear of failure stops many people from ever attempting great things. But the truth is, the only real failure is never trying at all. Those who play it safe, who avoid challenges, and who refuse to take risks may never experience the pain of failure, but they also never experience the joy of true achievement. Success is built on trial and error. Every major breakthrough, whether in science, business, sports, or the arts, is the result of countless attempts, many of which ended in failure. The people who reach the top are not necessarily the most talented or the most intelligent. They are the ones who keep trying even after failing. They understand that failure is part of the process, not the end of the road. Each failure teaches a lesson, sharpens skills, and brings them one step closer to success. Many of the greatest minds in history failed repeatedly before achieving greatness. Albert Einstein was told he would never amount to anything, yet he revolutionized physics. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, but became one of the greatest athletes of all time. Oprah Winfrey was once told she was not fit for television, but she went on to build an empire. These people did not let failure stop them. They used it as fuel to push forward. Had they been afraid to fail, they would have never even started. Failure is an essential part of growth. It exposes weaknesses, reveals what does not work, and forces people to improve. Without failure, there is no learning. A person who never fails is someone who has never challenged themselves. They have stayed in their comfort zone, choosing security over progress. But comfort does not lead to greatness. Growth only happens when we push ourselves beyond what we already know, and that means accepting the risk of failure. People often view failure as something to be avoided, but in reality, failure is one of life's best teachers. It teaches resilience, the ability to stand back up after falling. It teaches problem solving, the ability to adjust and find new ways to succeed. It teaches humility, the understanding that no one is perfect and that learning never stops. These lessons are not found in success alone. Success may reward effort, but failure builds character. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not the absence of failure, but how they respond to it. The ones who succeed are those who keep going despite setbacks. They refuse to let failures define them. Instead, they use every mistake as a stepping stone to something greater. They are willing to take risks, knowing that even if they fail, they will come out stronger and wiser. Regret is far worse than failure. A person who never fails might believe they are doing well, but deep inside, they may wonder what could have been if they had just taken that risk, started that business, written that book, or followed that dream. The pain of looking back and realizing you never even tried is far worse than failing and learning from it. In the end, those who achieve greatness are not the ones who never failed. They are the ones who failed many times but never gave up. They kept learning, improving, and trying again. So if you are afraid to fail, remember this: failure is not the opposite of success, it is a part of it. The only true failure is never trying at all. Success is built on a foundation of persistence, resilience, and lessons from failure. It is never an accident, nor is it simply a result of luck or talent. Every person who has ever achieved something great has faced setbacks, obstacles, and moments of doubt. What separates them from those who give up is their ability to keep going despite the difficulties. They persist when things do not go as planned. They remain resilient in the face of adversity, and they learn from every failure they encounter. Persistence is the ability to keep pushing forward no matter how many times you fail. Many people dream of success, but few are willing to endure the challenges that come with it. The road to success is not smooth. It is filled with difficulties that test your commitment. The people who achieve their goals are the ones who refuse to quit, even when everything seems to be against them. They understand that setbacks are not signs to stop, but signals to adjust and keep moving. One of the greatest examples of persistence is found in athletes, entrepreneurs, and innovators. They do not reach the top because they never failed, but because they never stopped trying. They practice every day, improve their skills, and refuse to be discouraged by failures. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset is what leads to breakthroughs. Every failed attempt is just another step closer to success. Resilience is equally important. Life will test you in ways you never expect. You will face rejection, disappointment, and hardship. Resilience is the ability to stand back up every time you are knocked down. It is the strength to keep believing in yourself even when no one else does. It is what allows people to turn failures into comebacks and losses into lessons. Without resilience, failure becomes permanent. But with it, failure becomes a temporary obstacle that leads to something greater. The most successful people in the world were once told they would never make it. Many were fired from jobs, lost money, or were told their ideas were impossible. But they did not let these failures define them. Instead, they used every setback as motivation to work harder. They understood that failure is not the end, it is just part of the process. The ability to stay strong in difficult times is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. Failure itself is not a bad thing. It is one of the greatest teachers in life. Every time you fail, you gain knowledge and experience that you would not have had otherwise. Failure reveals weaknesses, exposes mistakes, and forces you to improve. It teaches patience, discipline, and problem-solving skills. It forces you to think differently and try new approaches. The people who succeed are not the ones who avoid failure, but the ones who learn from it and grow stronger. The key to success is to view failure as feedback. Instead of seeing it as a sign to stop, see it as a lesson on how to improve. Many of the greatest inventions, businesses, and creative works were built on lessons from failure. When something does not work, it is not the end, it is just an opportunity to try again with more knowledge than before. Success is not for those who never fail. It is for those who never give up. It requires the persistence to keep going, the resilience to withstand challenges, and the willingness to learn from every mistake. No one achieves success overnight. It is the result of years of effort, perseverance, and continuous learning. If you want to succeed, do not fear failure. Instead, embrace it, learn from it, and let it make you stronger. Because in the end, the people who achieve greatness are not the ones who never fell. They are the ones who kept getting back up. The biggest mistake is fearing failure more than desiring success. Fear holds more people back than failure ever will. It is not the act of failing that stops most people from achieving their dreams. It is the fear of failing that keeps them from even trying. Fear creates hesitation, and hesitation kills opportunities before they even have a chance to grow. Those who let fear control them will always stay in the same place, watching others take the risks and reap the rewards. Success is not for those who wait until they are certain they won't fail. It is for those who are willing to fail, learn, and try again. If you look at the most successful individuals in any field, you will find one common trait. They were not afraid to fail. They understood that failure is not the end, but part of the process. They took risks, faced rejection, and experienced setbacks. Yet they kept moving forward because their desire to succeed was greater than their fear of failing. When you fear failure, you focus on what could go wrong instead of what could go right. You create doubts in your mind, convincing yourself that you are not ready, not good enough, or that the timing is not perfect. But the truth is, there will never be a perfect time. You will never feel 100% ready. The only way to know if something will work is to start. Even if you fail, you gain experience, and experience is the most valuable tool for success. The people who achieve great things in life are not the ones who never failed, but the ones who refused to let failure stop them. The world is full of talented people who never reach their potential simply because they let fear dictate their action. On the other hand, those who succeed are not necessarily the most talented, the smartest, or the luckiest. They are the ones who take action despite their fears. Fear of failure leads to a life of regret. Imagine looking back years from now and realizing that you never took the chance on something you truly wanted. The pain of regret is far worse than the pain of failure. Failure is temporary. It is a lesson and experience that helps you grow, but regret stays with you. It is the question of what if that lingers in your mind, reminding you of the opportunities you let slip away. Failure is not something to be avoided. It is something to be embraced. It is proof that you are trying, learning, and pushing your limits. Every failure teaches something that success never will. It shows you where to improve, what needs to change, and what works best. It toughens you, making you more prepared for the challenges ahead. The more you fail, the more you grow, and the more likely you are to succeed in the end. The greatest mistake you can make is letting fear control your life. Success requires risk, and risk means facing the possibility of failure. But without taking risks, you will never move forward. Every successful person has a story of failure behind them. What makes them different is that they did not stop when they failed. They saw failure as part of the journey, not the end of it. If you want to succeed, you must shift your mindset. Stop fearing failure and start focusing on your goals. Let your desire to achieve be stronger than your fear of making mistakes, because in the end, failure does not define you, how you respond to it does. The people who change the world are the ones who take risks, fail, and rise again. They are the ones who refuse to let fear hold them back. And if you want to be successful, you must do the same.